thing started right on time. So I'm to take Dataverse and model-driven app. I know you guys, everybody now know what Canvas app is all about. You know Power FX formulas, and you've know things. So now we are going to, because in Power Platform, there are 3 things you can do in Power Platform. You can create a Canvas app, you can create Power Pages, which is a website, and you can also create a model-driven app. Those are the 3 things you can do in Power Platform. So now let me just quickly share my screen and let me explain a few things. Please let me know if you can see my screen, please.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So now, today I'll be talking about, oh, sorry, I'm supposed to prepare a slide that people can, I'm so sorry I couldn't prepare a slide, but I'm just going to talk, explain, do a brief demo. I'm supposed to prepare a slide so that I can probably project or so. But I'm sorry, I couldn't prepare a slide because I was busy at work today. So since I already know what to talk about, I'm just going to be talking offhand, show my screen and explain a few things. I hope you guys will be able to catch up. So if you have any question, you can just pause me and get me back so I can explain again, because I'm supposed to share a slide, but I couldn't. I'm so sorry about that. So now, today I'm talking about Dataverse and model-driven app. First, what is Dataverse? Dataverse is just a database. Like everybody knows, like Dataverse is more or less like a database like SharePoint, SQL, Excel, and stuff like that. Those are examples of database. Just as you have SQL database, that's how Dataverse also it is. It used to be called Common Data Service, CDS, Common Data Service, before Microsoft now changed it to Dataverse. Now, you'll be asking, what is really, why did Power Platform decide to use Dataverse? You know, when we talk about Power Platform and Dataverse, they're like brothers and sisters, because everything you do on Power Apps, you do on Canvas apps, you do on anything you do on Power Automate Flow, which is the logic and everything, they are all saved inside Dataverse. Everything are all saved inside Dataverse. Your process flows, your flow logic, the memory your flow used to run, everything is inside Dataverse. That's why Power Platform and Dataverse, they're like 5 and 6. They are brothers and sisters. So it's only if you want to use an application that needs another data source like SharePoint, that's where you can use all those standard connectors. Now, there are some things you need to know in Dataverse before you now move to model-driven app. One thing you need to understand is when you need to create a model-driven app only works with Dataverse. It only works with Dataverse. People will be asking, why do model-driven app have to work with Dataverse alone? Well, there's a workaround of how you can integrate. If you really want to use model-driven app, and whereas everyone model-driven app only works with Dataverse, but there's a workaround. If you need to bring your data from other source and bring it to Dataverse, that's when you need to use something we call virtual table. But I'm still going to go into that. But just for a brief demo, this is what we call Dataverse. Like now, when you first, I believe, does everyone have a developer account?
Some do, but some do not. But almost everybody on this call do now. Yeah, the whole 7 people on this call do. Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you log into your developer account, if you click your environment, and you over to your account, you will see data platform is Dataverse. That's because everything you do in Power Apps, everything are all saved inside Dataverse. My environment tab is now. If you go to tables, Like I am now, I'm logged inside Power Apps like this. I'm already inside Dataverse. There's no external, probably like external URL to visit Dataverse. So once you log into make.powerapps.com, you are already inside Dataverse. So Dataverse, there are two things that comes with Dataverse. You can have a custom table and you can also have a system table. What do I mean by system tables? That once you set up a developer account, you are entitled to a Dataverse environment. Like once you set up a developer account in Power Apps, you are entitled to a Dataverse environment. And inside Dataverse environment, there are some default table that comes with it. Those, they are called system tables. If you look at the left hand here, this is tables. When you click these tables, all these tables here, all these, they are all called system table, except the one you create yourself, like all these account, address, admin, appointment, business unit, attachment, case. This one, I was the one that created this. All these ones, all these contacts, currency, all these, they are all system tables. So all these, they come directly, they come with Dataverse themselves. These are all system tables. All these are called system tables. Now, let's start to create a table inside Dataverse. I believe everybody knows Excel. Excel consists of a table. So also Dataverse has its own table structure. You can create your own table structure, define the columns, define the data types, and we have different types of data type. I believe everyone are familiarized with SharePoint. Just like you have data types in SharePoint, that's the kind of data type you have in Dataverse. We have choices, we have text, we have multi-line of text, we have what other data types do we have again? So now let me try and create a table inside Dataverse. Any table you create inside your make.powerapps studio, the table will be automatically saved inside Dataverse. Just like I said, because everything you do in Dataverse, everything you do in make.powerapps studio, everything is saved in Dataverse. Now let's create a table in Dataverse so we can understand how the table structure in Dataverse looks like. Now, when I go to a table, create new table. So can you see this is a virtual table I was talking about, but that's another talk for another day. This, if you want to bring your data from external source, maybe for example, SharePoint, SQL Server, Excel, other data source, I want that data to be in Dataverse. Maybe because you want to develop a model-driven app, but your data resides in another source. You can bring it into Dataverse using virtual table. But when you use virtual table in Dataverse, you have some limitations. There are some limitations in Dataverse. There are some limitations when you use virtual table in Dataverse. But now we are not using virtual table. We are creating a new table that resides inside Dataverse itself. Now, when you click on create new table, you can either use Copilot. I believe everybody knows what's called Copilot. Copilot is an AI developed by Microsoft. You can use Start with Copilot. You can import your table from SharePoint list. You can import your table from Excel file, but I am not going to import any table from external source. I will start from scratch. I will create a new table here. Now let me start from blank. Let's say, for example, I need to create a case table. And when you are creating a table in Dataverse, there's something we call primary column. The primary column is a system column that comes with every table you create in Dataverse. This is it. You can rename it to any name of your choice. This is always the primary column. When I click on this column, you see it's going to show where the primary column, to show you can know this is a primary column. There's a way when I click on table properties, I'm still going to show. Let me just rename this one to probably case ID. Leave it single line of text. Let me leave. I don't want this one to be required. When you mark this required button, it means you are making that, you are telling this Dataverse that this column here, it needs to contain a data. That's the meaning of this required. that this column needs to contain data. So, but I don't want it to be required. I also go to define advanced options to select a schema name, but most people don't usually do this. You can decide to set a schema name yourself. This schema name is only used for probably you want to interact with your table using probably external API, or you want to interact with this table using an API. It's mainly used by developers, by all these full stack developers. They need to communicate with your Dataverse table. This is when they need to get the schema name to communicate with your table using API. So case ID, let me just update this. So now I've renamed my primary column to be case ID. Let me first save and exit before I started adding new column. There's something that I want to show you regarding this primary column. Let me save and exit. I'm still explaining all about Dataverse, the data structure, and what Dataverse it's all about. Now, when you create a table, everything will be saved inside these tables. So let me locate my table here. In a normal business scenario, if I'm supposed to create this in a solution, but I just wanted to do a rough explanation of how Dataverse works. If you are to create a normal business, probably you want to create a solution using Dataverse to create a model-driven app, you have to first create a solution. That's the normal, because something application lifecycle, ALM, application lifecycle management. Everything you need to develop needs to be inside a solution. I believe everybody will have known what's called solution when you are doing Canvas app, because Uncle Leke will have explained that for everyone what's called a solution. But I'm not really developing a solution yet. I just want to create a table to explain table structure of what Dataverse entails. Now let me locate my table that I created, which is case table. Oh, where's this case table? Let me just search. Okay, yeah, this is my table. Aha. This is what I wanted to explain for you guys. This, when you create a table in Dataverse, it's automatically assigned a primary column, which is you remember I renamed it to case ID. This is always the primary column. This is always the primary. So in a best practice, what I always do with my own primary column is I always make it an auto number, a data type of auto number, whereby the system will generate an automatic numbering. Because when you start working on different kind of solution, when you start probably, for example, you want, like this table now is a case table that saves every case that an individual submits in our organization. So you will need to attach an ID to every case that is submitted. So the usual practice I always do is this primary column, I will change it to auto number, like auto number data type. And how do I do that? I just come to case ID, then I click on edit column. Then I click on edit column, then I change to data type to auto number. Then when you select auto number, you can set a prefix. A prefix means probably a letter you want it to be at the end. I can make this one CS, or I can make it CD or CS. Now this is how it's going to look like. So each time a record is saved into this table, each record will have their own ID, like case 1000, case 1001, case 1002. You can select what you want the digits to start from. I can say, okay, I want it to start from 2000, or I want it to start from 3000, or I want it to start from whatever digit you set. It all depends on you. It all depends. So this is an example of how you can set ID to every record, whereby in your organization, whereby they say, please, we need to have each record to have an ID. This is how you can use ID. You can tag ID to every record that is saved in your Dataverse table. This is how you can select and hide it. Then I'll just click on save. Now, so and also when you create a table, remember I talked about system columns. There are more than one system columns that you will find inside Dataverse. There are more than one. Let me go to columns. If you remember, when I created this table, you only saw one column, which is that primary column, which is this case ID. But at the background, Dataverse already created different kind of column for you, whereby it's even easy of some stress. We have created by. What is this created by column is for? This created by is for, it's automatically, if let's say if a record is saved inside this table, this created by column automatically fetches the name of the user who created this record and save it here in created by column. If you can look at this column, it's a lookup column. And what's the meaning of lookup? A lookup column is, it looks for a record in another table. That's what lookup works for. When you see something when you see any column that you see this thing called that has a data type of lookup, it means that column is fetching its record from another table. That's what we mean by lookup column. Now, if I click on this column and go to details, you will see the column is relating to, that is fetching data from. Look at this. Related table is the user. This user table, it's a system table that is already inside Dataverse. And what are this user table entails? It's saved. That's why it saved the record of every user that has used, every user in your organization. It saves the record of every user in the organization. This user is a system clone that was created by Dataverse itself. Every user that logs into this Power App Studio that makes use of Dataverse in your organization, it saves their record. It's saved in this table. Their name, their email, their phone number, and other. I'm still going to go and view this table for you so you can see what this user table is all about. So this user table is a user table that's created by Dataverse. So that's what is created by does. And this created on, it's the date, it's a data type of date and time. It saves the date that record was created. Can you see that I did not create these columns myself? It was created by Dataverse itself. Oh, please, so sorry, please. I'm so sorry, please. My daughter is so sorry. Hello, can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can. It's fine. Yes, please. Thank you.
Sorry, don't mind our voice in the background. I'm so sorry. That's babies for you. So, as I was saying, I'm still talking about the system columns. You remember, I've not created any columns out. The only column I created was just this case ID, which is the primary column. All these columns you are seeing here, they are all created by Dataverse itself. They were created by Dataverse.
I don't know if you're speaking. You're currently on mute.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was the one that muted. I went to attend to her. So sorry. I was the one that muted. So now, so we are still on Dataverse. So this created on column, is a data type of date and time. Date and time, where by any record that is saved into this table, the system saves the date that record was created. So every organization, we always keep track of every record, which is, so that's that. Microsoft also know the needs of every organization. Microsoft knows, okay, you need to know who created the record. You need to know the date it was created. You need to know the date it was modified. All those things. Microsoft already done that for us at the back end. That's why Dataverse is more or less like, it has a good UI experience. It has a good user interface and also good user experience, whereby some things are done for you at the back end, whereby you don't even need to write any code. All these are done by Dataverse themselves. Also, this modified by, it's a lookup column, looking up to the user table I talked about earlier. If you look at it here, looking up to the user table. And what does this modify by does? It saves the name of the person that modified a specific record in the Dataverse table. Let's say I'm Marvelous. I was the one that first created a record in this case table. Okay, probably tomorrow, another employee of mine needs to edit a record I created. If that user, let's say like Proleke now, he needs to edit a record I submitted yesterday. Once he edits that record, his name will be on this modified by that. It was modified by Uncle Leke. So that's what this modified by does. It saves the name of the user who modified a certain record in the Dataverse table, and also modified by delegate. What does this delegate mean? If you can see, we also have created by delegate here. What does this created by delegate does? Let's say, for example, in a business, in an organization, everyone, for example, let's say a report was assigned to someone before, probably in a situation whereby maybe the person doesn't have time to move on to the record. Okay, they will not assign it to another person. Maybe, okay, on behalf of this person, please just do this record for us. On behalf of this person, please create this record. That's what this created by delegates does. Created by delegates, created on behalf. So Microsoft already done some things at the back end for us without us even knowing. All you just need to do is create your table, and all these system columns will be there for you to use. So that's what this created by delegate does. It saves the name of the delegate that this something was assigned to. That instead of I Marvelous, I don't have the time to do this. Okay, please let Uncle Leke do this on behalf of me. Let Uncle Leke do this on behalf of me. That's what this created by delegates does. And what other system column do we still have there that's very essential for us to know? And also modified on. This modified on also saves the dates and time this record was modified. The owner, what does this owner ID? What does this owner does? The owner means the owner of this record, the person that created this record. You know, once you create a record, you are the owner of that record. That's how Dataverse works. It's a data type of owner. So all these are system columns that was created by Dataverse itself. All these are system columns. Status, the status is a choice column. Status reason is a multi-line of text. Status reason is also a choice column. So we are still going to go into all these data types. So you can understand what this lookup does. Through this, I just want to explain all this system code, because sometimes you might be wondering, I don't create all this column. Why is all this column here? That's what you need to understand. How some columns are auto-created by Dataverse themselves, and it is not necessary you use them. You might use it and you might not use it. But one thing I'm sure is, once you begin your development journey, you will always make use of these two columns. You always make this created by, you always make use of it. Created done, you always need it. Modify, you always need it. Most things that I think since I've started my Power Platform journey, I've never even used this created by delegates. I've never done this because nobody has ever delegated a record on behalf of someone in my organization. So I've never even made use of this. These are the table I always make use of. This column, this column I always make use of, created by, modified by, and stuff like that. So now, let's now go into the real deal. I've explained what these system columns are for. Now, let's say I want to create another column inside this case table I created. So all these are just system. Now, to add a new column inside, you can use two ways to add a new column inside the table you already created. You can either come here, new column, and you can also click this plus sign, also means to add a new column. Now, let me say I want this one to be email and data type. Now, these are the data types we have in Dataverse. We have text. This text can be plain text, text area, rich text. What does plain text means? Plain text, which when you see something like plain text is just like a single line. Like the box is just going to be, just for example, this display name, this data type here is what we call plain text. This is what we call plain text. The the section to enter data will just be a straight line, but text area is a big board that can accommodate multi-line of text, that can accommodate 5,000 words, 4,000 words. That's what we mean by text area. But what do we have here again? We have email. Everybody knows email. Ticker symbols, and URL. What else do we have again? So we have another data type of number that only accommodates just numbers. If you pick a data type and you try to enter text in that column, it's going to give you error. It's going to give you error. So this is another thing that Dataverse does for us. Any data type you pick in your column, another data can never enter that specific column. If you pick number and you're trying to enter text in that column, it's going to prompt error. You won't be able to enter that kind of thing. Okay, let me do a test with this. You remember I picked email here, and my data type is O number. My format, I can make it to probably none. Okay, let me just save and try to enter email address in that data type that I pick as number. Can you see? If a normal person just see this table, and they see email, this email, let me enter my email. You see, come here. Can you see? It's going to pop invalid value for this column type. That's because I'm giving it a data that is not configured for this column. I'm giving this column a data that is not even configured for this column. This column can only save number, which is, can you see? No error, nothing. That's because I've given it the right number. Aha, exactly. If you remember, can you see? This is what I only did inside this table. I only entered just number inside this table, and Dataverse just did its work that it usually do. Take the wheel, it took over the wheel from me and said, don't worry, I'll do the rest with you. Just enter what you need to enter. Other column, I'll do it automatically for you. If you notice, when I was setting up this primary code, is case ID. Once this record has been saved, can you see? It's generate a case ID for me automatically, created on which is the date I created this record and the time. There's also another column. I want to show the created by. Now, once you create, if you look at me here, what I want to do here, I want to show other column, show existing column. Sometimes when you create a table in Dataverse and you try to view every data inside of it, you might not be able to save it because Dataverse kind of limits the view for you to see. You are the one that will need to edit it here and show other columns you want to see yourself. Okay, I want to see created, I want to see this. I want to see created by column. I want to see modified by. I want to see the status. I want to see the status reason. Okay, let me just save. So you see other columns is not going to show. Aha. Can you see now? So when I created this column, it picked my name, which is my name, automatically because I was the one that created this record. Status active. Now you will understand, this status active, it's also a system column. This status is it's when you create a model driven app, that's when this status you understand what this status is all about. When we go into model driven app, I will explain what this status column, what it does, because it's a system column. You can't edit the data here. If you put your cursor here, you see it's just read only. You won't be able to edit any data here, because any system column that was generated by Dataverse itself, they are uneditable. It's only the column that you created yourself, that's created by the user, that can be edited. Any system column in Dataverse, it can never be edited. You can't edit it. You can't edit it. You might be wondering, I did not say this status. How come is this status active? Started using active. I will explain how this status, what it works for in model driven app. When we get model driven app, I will explain what this works for. Now, so let me try and modify this and this, so you can understand what is modified date, modified on. Let me search it here. We are still on Dataverse, modified on. So you can note the date, the time. You see, this is 834, right? Okay, now let me edit this. Let me edit this record and see if that time is going to change. If that time is going to change. Let me refresh for it to load. I want to see that modified on in action. So you can see that it's the system picked the date and time that record was modified. That's because I just edited this record, so the time should have changed by now. Yeah, exactly. Can you see modified on 837? It's no longer 834 anymore. It's now, that was when I edited that record, I modified it, and it was modified by me, which is my name. So those are the system those system columns. That is their usefulness. That is what it does. Now let me go on to adding another column. Let me delete this. Let me delete this. Let me delete this. So now let me add another column into the Dataverse. All this we are doing now, you are already inside Dataverse environment. You are creating tables in Dataverse. You are creating a table in Dataverse, creating columns, and it depends on the kind of business problem you want to solve that will determine the kind of table you create, the kind of columns your table will create, and the kind of data type your table is going to have. So I want this one to be email, like I said earlier, and data type will be text. And under this text, I have different options to pick. I can make this space to be phone number or email, but this is going to be email. Then I save. And I want to add another column, probably where they will enter their phone number. Phone number of text. I want this one to be phone number as well. Then I save. So before I move further, let me explain some data types in Dataverse as well now. So if you go to this data type, lookup column, I've explained what lookup column lookup does. Lookup, it looks like it's like you are fetching, like if lookup is like looking up, fetching data from another table. That's what lookup column does. Because if you create a lookup, when I create a lookup column now, it's going to ask me, okay, from which table do you want me to be fetching data from? That's what lookup column does. Where do you want me to fetch this data from? Where do you want to fetch this data from? That's what lookup column. Okay, let me create a lookup. And I create a lookup. So you see data type lookup. Now it's going to ask you related table. What is related table means? From which table do you want to be fetching the data from? That's what lookup column does. If you click on this, it's going to bring all the tables you have in your Dataverse environment. All the tables you have in your Dataverse environment. That's what lookup does. Like fetching record from another table. That's the function of lookup column in Dataverse. But I'm not creating it, I'm just explaining the data type. And another data type we have is choices. I believe everyone knows what choices is. What choices is? What we mean by choices? Choices is for you to select. Is for you to select from a drop-down menu. Probably select different kind of choices. It can be. Let me say, for example, you have a status column and you make it the choices. You can say pending, completed, in progress, and those things. That's mean by choices. For them to select various options from the column. For example, let me create a choice column. Okay. Let me make this one. Let me say case status. Of data type choices. Behavior, you can make just simple. We don't even required. This is what I mean. This required means business recommended, required, optional. Required means if you pick required, just like if you pick required, means this column, if data is not in this column, when you are trying to save a record, you'll be giving error that a column that needs to contain data is not being filled. That's the meaning of this business required. Business recommended means it's just business recommended is okay when a user is trying to create a record, the system will recommend just like okay, it's either you enter a data into this column or you don't. That's the meaning of recommended. Now, okay, I can only recommend this for you. That's okay. You are creating a record. Let me see, you've entered your name, last name, and I make probably email address, I make it business recommended. When you're in business recommended means I will recommend this column for you. Okay, you need to enter your email. You can choose to enter it or not. That's enough, but the system will only recommend it for you. This is where you will use this when you're in business. There's something we call business rule. That's a model driven app, but we've not gotten to that. So those are the options you have when you're creating a table. Either you use business required or business recommended. So now when you're creating a choice column in Dataverse, we have two options. You see this sync with global choice. What does sync with global choice means? Meaning, if I create this choice column will be available in all my Dataverse environments. What do you mean by this? Can be used in multiple tables and will stay updated everywhere. Let's say, for example, when I make this global choice, if I'm trying to create another table, instead of me creating another choice column that has the same data of this, I can pick this choice column in another table. Let me do it in action because I love to make something in action when I'm explaining so that people can grab what I'm trying to explain. When I'll create two choices. I'll make one global recommended. I'll make this one sync with global choice, and I'll make one no. Let's first make this one yes. Let's say okay, sync choices with. That's because I haven't created choices yet. Let me create a new choice. Let me make this one status. Let me say, for example, so I can, because I have another status that is a global in my environment, just for it not to. Okay, I can make this. Let me see, pending. This is when you are creating. I will explain what you mean by this global recommended. Pending. Can make this one approved, and we can make this one reject. Okay, now once note the name here, math status. Once I save, now when you want to make this sync with global choice, when I click yes here, now I'll need to select the choice I just created. Sync this choice with. Did you have any choice in your Dataverse environment for you to select, which is the choice I just created? You see all these you are seeing, they are all global choices. All these they are all global choices. If you see, when I over my mouse on everything, all these they are all global choices. Prospect stage, all these they are all global choices. This was created by Dataverse. All these are default choices that comes with Dataverse. Prospect stage, yes or no, activity. These are the choices. All these are global choices that are available in Dataverse environment, but I'm not going to use this. I have created a choices on my own that I want it to be available in all my Dataverse environments. Okay, what's the name? I think it's Mav, right? Let me search. Okay, yeah, this is it. Okay. Default choice. What does this default choice means? Means if they are creating a record, the default choice that will be inside this column, you can send it to pending, approve, anything, but I'm going to use name. Default choice means the default data that will be inside this column. The default data, even if no data is entered into this specific column, the default choice that will be inside this column can either be probably pending, approved, reject, depends on your business scenario. but I'm going to make this one to be known that no default choice will be selected. You'll be the one to select your choice yourself. So when I save this, now let me now explain what you see. Remember, I select sync with global choice, which is yes. Now let me, if I try and create another table and I still want to create same choices as this. So if you notice what I was saying, aha. Okay, this is showing here. I thought it's not showing. This is showing here. Can see. This is what we mean by choice. This is choice column, just like in SharePoint. Now, remember, I make this one global choice. I make this, that choice I created, I make it to sync with global choice. If I now try to create another table, I can pick that same map status that I created in another table for it to be used. I'll still go back, I'll still go to that when I try to create another table. Okay, let me pause on this yet. Let me create another table so you can know what is sync with global choice, what it means. Let me create another table. Let me go back. Let me create new table, but I only want this table to just be choices, choice column. Let me just start from blank. Let me just leave down as table 1. Okay, let me click on new column. Let me pick data type of choice. So you see, display name, choice. This is supposed to show me. First, it's supposed to bring out the choice. I wanted to show. Oh, sorry. Choice. Why is it not bring? Okay, let me first save this table first. Let me save this table first. So it's going to be my Dataverse environment, table 1, right? Okay, table 1. Let me save and exit. So then I'll go to add a choice column in that table. Then I'll pick that same choice I created inside that table. Okay. Now, you see, it's named table 1, right? This I'm doing, this is not a best practice. All this is supposed to be in a solution, but it's because I'm just explaining all what the Dataverse is all about. Before we, what's the name of this table? Oh, sorry, all. Oh, yeah, this is my table, table 1. Okay. Now, let me try and enter a new column. Let me make this one case status. Then data type, I'll make this one choice. Yeah, can you see? When I make it sync with global choice, yes. Sync this choice with this, where I will not pick my map status I created when I was creating that choice earlier. Let me search map. You see, can you see? You see, that status is now that choice column I created in the first table I created is even available for me to use. That's when you create a choice column and you make it a global choice. Means any table you are trying to create in that specific environment can reference that choice in their own table as well. Like this, you are picking just like you are copying somebody's idea. I want to use this choice in my own table. I love this choice. Let me copy this guy on, put it in my own table. That's what it's me like. Since that choice is available globally, you can use it anywhere in another table. If I save this now, you see that choice will be available for me inside this table to use. If I try to select an option, you see, it's available. That's the meaning of when you sync a choice, when you make a choice a global sync choice. That's the function of a global sync choice in Dataverse. Now let's go back to the table and create another one that is not global sync. You see, it won't be available for us. This case table. Now, let me create another column again that is not globally synced. Let me create another column. Let me make this one case status 2. I make this one choice. I make this one choice. And I desire to click no for this. So any choice I create here, it will only be available in this table. Any other table cannot have reference to this choice. It's only available for this table. Any other, so note this is just case status 2. This choice, okay, let me make this one none. Okay. Remember when I was trying to say default, let me make this one pending so you can understand what this default choice means. So when I save, so let me go to that table. So this is case status 2. So the case status 2. So pending and approved. Now, remember when I picked a default choice inside this to be pending and this to be, let me create a record. Then you see the system will automatically give that. Let me create a new record here. Let me say mav@demo.com. If I try to create something that is not email address, you see I'm not sure it's going to, you see, error. That's because this is an invalid email address. The system also auto checks it's, that's we call something data validation. The system will validate that data for that. Are you putting in the right data for this column? If it's not, it's going to give you error. If this were to be in an application, you won't be able to save this data because you are giving this column a wrong data type. It's supposed to be an email address. So let me .com. So can you see the data was accepted? And if I go back to this case status column, this case status 2 column, it should this should be in pending. It should give me a pending status. It's supposed to be in pending. Let me reload. This is supposed to be in pending now. Let me reload this. You see that it's going to give a default. That's because that's the default choice we pick when we're creating that choice. That any record that was that is saved in that particular row, that column will give it a default choice of pending, because that was what we pick when we're setting up a choice column. If I go back to that case status, this is supposed to be in pending. Oh shit. Let me hide all this. I just want to show. Let me hide all this. Just want to show this. Only this. I don't want to show this. Aha. Let's show just this two. This is supposed to be in pending when I created a record. Why is it not giving me the default choice? Let me see this column. Now this default choice. Okay. Then I see you. Supposed to be in pending move, I automatically use it. I guess it doesn't work when I guess it's only work inside the application. If you use this inside an app and I create a record, it's supposed to give this a pending choice of a choice of pending. That once a record is saved, that row will be pending. That particular column is going to give a default. If no data is selected here, if no choice is selected when you are creating this record, the default choice that will be selected here is supposed to be pending, because I did not select any choice when I was creating this record. This is supposed to give me pending. I don't know why it's not giving me pending. So well, that disturbs us. Let's continue again to another data type. I think we already have phone number. Another data type. Okay, let me create a lookup column again. let me say, let's look up. Then I want to make this data type lookup. Then related table. Now let's make this one to pick that table one I created. Table one, table one, table one, table one. I want you to pick data from that table one so that you know what lookup, what it does. Yeah, okay. Lookup, then now if you look at this relationship, now I will still explain what relationship is all about, but probably in another section. I only want to, today is just about to explain all about Dataverse. So when you create a lookup column, a relationship is created inside Dataverse. I'll not go into deep relationship because relationship also is kind of, it's a bit wide a little bit. We have different kind of relationship. We have one to many, many to many, one to one to many, and many to one. But that will be another session entirely. I'll talk about relationship later. So I just want to explain what this lookup does. So it's looking up to looking up to table one. Pick record from table one. That's the meaning of this lookup. Okay, when I save, you will see this. When you create a lookup column, it's going to be in form of a choice column. Like it's going to be acting like a choice. Like you tell to select a record from this table. Okay, when I try to select, can you see it's telling me no record found? That's because that table one doesn't have any record. If there's a record in that table one, the record will be showing here for me to select. And what's the function of this lookup column? Like, let me say you want to link two tables together. Let's say you have a case table, you have a contact table, and you want that, okay, whoever submits a case on this table, I want their contact to be coming from a contact table, whereby that anyone that submits a case, probably you have a contact database and you have a case table. I mean, everyone in your contacts are submitting a case, and you don't want them to be re-entering their email address, and you can just create a lookup column to contact table, whereby if they want to create a case, they'll just select from the drop down, okay, what's your name? Once they enter their name, once they get to email address, they can select their email address from a drop down, which is looking up to contact table. That's the meaning of, that's what lookup does in Dataverse. Okay, let me go back to that table one I created and try to add a rough data. Then we can see that that record that I created in table one will be showing in this case lookup with this. Now, let me go back to the table that I created. I think I should just add all this in a solution so that I'll not be going and coming. I believe everyone knows how to create a solution, right?
I'm not sure they do, but I discussed it the last time. So if you can, I was waiting for this opportunity to show them how to create. So if you want to start all over again, yes.
Okay. All right. What do that mean by solution? Solution is like a container that keeps all the things you are. Okay, let's say, for example, now I am an automation developer. Let's say my manager reached out to me and said, "Oh, marvelous, we need to solve this problem in our organization. We are doing all this kind of thing manually. I want it to be automated, and we need an app for incident. And we need that once incident is submitted, and once the manager, to receive a notification mail, that means you will create a Canvas app and also create an automation flow, which is the Power Automate. Now, you can't expect to come to Power Apps, create a rough app, then go to Power Automate, create an automation, and expect everything to be. But everything is still going to work, but to obey the rules of ALM, Application Lifecycle Management. So everything, you need to put everything in a solution so that once you want to put everything out there for your employees to start using when you want to move from developer to test and to production environments. So you know every app that you develop, that's what you push to production environment, and it's not ideal to be editing an application that is already in use. That's why Power Platform give us an opportunity to have different kind of you can have developer environment whereby you need to develop the application you want to solve a problem. Then you can have a test environment whereby from a developer environment you move it to test. Once you are done developing and you've tested your that is working, you move it to test environment for some employees to test it. And then from test, once they are approved the test, then from test you move it to production environment whereby any app that's in production environment, you won't edit it. If you need to make any changes, you go back to your developer environment, make changes in that, then you send it again to production environment. So all this can only be achieved when you have all the things you develop inside a solution. That's what a solution means. A solution is just like a container that keeps everything you develop to solve a specific problem. That's what a solution entails. Now, and how do you create a solution? Once you come to your make.powerapps.com, once you log in the left tab, you see here solution. In the left tab here, you see solution. Then you click on new solution. You can give it a name. Probably you are trying to, this is how I name my own solution. To give it a naming convention. There's a naming convention I always follow. Let's say I want to solve a problem relating to incident reports, or I want to solve a problem relating to case reports, or I want to solve a problem relating to insurance claim, or I want to solve a problem relating to target setting. Okay, let's say we want to solve a problem related to case. You can just say case, let's say case solution, or just make sure the problem you are solving is reflects in your solution, so that because as time goes on, you can have different kind of solution in your environment. So it won't be ideal for it. What's the name of the solution that I did for this problem? What's the name of the solution? So that's why it's good to always give it a naming convention that align with this problem you are trying to solve. So, or let's say, for example, the application that Broleke designed earlier, which is that incident reports. Okay, incidents. Sorry. Incidents tracking solution. So this just is an idea to always have a naming convention that that aligns to the problem you are trying to solve. And a publisher, what's the meaning of publisher? Publisher is the person who is creating the solution. That's the meaning of publisher. Publisher is the person who is creating the solution. You can either create a new publisher, or you can select from the one you already have in your environment. Okay, for the purpose of this demo, I'll create a new publisher. Let's assume I'm just creating a new solution. I'll create a new publisher. Display name, I'll give you my name. When you are creating a publisher, always note you can't leave a space, because it's going to give you error. You see, note this. Good, no, just a display name. Sorry, display name. If I try to write the same name inside the name, not display name. Display name is just the name that will display. That's not display. It's self-explanatory. Display name is the name that we use to identify each publisher in your environment. Each publisher in your environment. That's what the display name is. Then the name of the publisher. The name of the publisher is the one that is this name. This is just a display name. Then who is the person that wants to create this publisher? Who wants to publish the solution? Let me give it my name again. You notice when you are creating a name, when you are creating a publisher, when you are giving a publisher a name, In the way Power Apps is designed, you can't give a space. It's going to give error. It's either you use underscore or you just write it together. When I give a space, you see. And if I try to save, just look. If I try to save, you can prefix. Always give your publisher a prefix. Me, I love using my name. What does this prefix mean? This prefix means once you create a publisher in that and use that publisher in that solution, because this publisher is what I'll be using in this solution, and use this publisher in that solution, the prefix you use, let's say any table you create within that solution is going to have that prefix that you set up. If you see now, preview of a new object, it means the prefix, they underscore the object. It can be a table, it can be a flow, it can be a cloud flow, it can be an app, it can be this. So it's going to have a prefix. That is going to have a prefix. That's what we call logical name. It's good. I will explain how this prefix works. You will see, so you can understand what I mean. I shall give my own name as a prefix. Now, note this name. You see, I use space here. It's going to give error when I try to save. Just see. It's going to give error when I try to see, because you can you see invalid character specified for publisher unique name. Only characters within the ranges A to Z or underscore are allowed. That's because I added a space in the unique name. So it's either I use underscore or I clear the space. Now, when I clear the space now, and note this prefix I use. Note this, you see this prefix in action very soon. So when I save, so it's now saved. Now I can select my publisher, which is this that I just created, which is this. I already created this one before. I've created this one. This one, this one I use underscore. This is what I just created now. This is it. And so you select a publisher, because every solution needs to have a publisher. The publisher means the person that is creating this solution. That's the meaning of a publisher. Like the person that is developing this, the developer. Let me give it that name. The developer. That's the meaning. So now I'm still creating a solution. Then you click on create. So this is how to create. Now my solution is going to be empty. So that's how to create a solution. Now it is inside this solution, you now start adding different kind of things. You start adding your application, start adding cloud flow, you start adding tables, you start adding agent. Agent is an AI, is a Copilot, where Copilot Studio. Agent is just like an AI. Like you can start adding agents, start adding apps, cards, cloud flow, data workspace, tables. All this will be inside this solution, so that when you want to export this, when you want to export your application from developer environment to production, you won't be sending it one by one. You first export app, export cloud flow, export table, export this. No, but once everything is inside a solution, you just export everything at once inside that solution. It's just the container that keeps all your files. That's the meaning of solution. Now, inside this solution, I can create a table. I can create an app. I can create an automated cloud flow. I can create an agent. Anything you want, just name it. You can activate everything inside this solution. Now, let me first create a table inside the solution. You can see that prefix I created, what it's the meaning of that prefix. Let me create a new table here. Anything you want to create inside a solution, all you just need to do is you just come to new. Anything you want, you come to new, create it. But if you already have, let's say, for example, let me say probably you have a Canvas app you already created and you want to export it to another environment. You have a cloud flow you've already created, you have an app you've created, you have an agent you've created, and you want to add everything in a solution. All you just need to do is create a solution first, then you come to add existing. Add existing, and everything will be added inside the solution. Is it an existing table? Is it an app? Okay, let me try and add that existing table that we created to bring it inside the solution. Let me see. Add existing, then you come to table. Then you search for the table you've created. That's because when we created that table, it's not inside a solution yet. Remember that prefix I talked about? Note this prefix. This is CR71F underscore admin. That's this CRF. That's the when the publisher that created this table, because it's a system table, the publisher that created this table, this is the prefix the person sets. That's why it's showing you all this. This is what we call prefix. Now, note this prefix and note the new table you are going to create inside that solution, so you know what prefix, what it means. Now, I want to add existing table that I already have in my Dataverse environment into a solution. Now, what I just need to do is I search for my table, case table, which is this. Now, can you see when we created this table? See, the prefix is added because it was created within Dataverse environment. I did not use any solution. I did not use any prefix. I did not use any publisher. I just created the table within Dataverse, within Maker Studio, which is Dataverse. That's why it gives a system a default prefix, which is the CR71F case table. Let me add it. Next, include all the objects, then add. So that table will be added inside this solution. Now, you see, this table was created outside the solution. Note that prefix. Now, let me create a new table inside this same solution. Then you can see that they will have different prefix. Now, let me create a new table. Tables. Let me use Copilot so you can know how to use Copilot to create a table. Start with Copilot. Let me just describe my table. Let me say, I need a table to manage incidents. It's going to come with a default table, incident reports, and add sample data. Generates. So sometimes when I try to act lazy, I use Copilot to create table sometimes. So it saved me at least within 2 minutes or less than 2 minutes. It saves me, like, because nowadays time is very, very precious. You see, it even creates 2 tables for me, 2 tables with relationship. But this, I will explain all this in another session. I just needed, I don't want this to be, I just want it to be just one. Well, no, it even makes me to explain more. You see, it's created incident report table and also related incidents. That's what Copilot can do for it. It makes the job more easier for me. It makes it more easier. If you look at this, this is one to many. Remember I said relationship earlier. This is one to many relationship. This is one to many. Let me show you the relationship. You see? Let me see. View relationship options. Can you see relationship type one to many? This one to many means these incident reports can have many related incidents. Means when you see anywhere you see one to many relationship, means one record can be related to another many record. That's the meaning of one to many. Meaning one record in an incident report table can be related to many records inside this related incident. That's the meaning of one to many relationship. I'm still going to go into depth. Maybe we organize another session that will talk more on relationship in Dataverse, because relationship in Dataverse is very, very wide. So, but I'm not going to go into it. Let me just save and exit this. Let me save and exit. So I just use Copilot. So that you can use Copilot to create a table. If you are trying to save yourself some time, you can use Copilot to create a table inside Dataverse. Let me save and exit. Yes. Now I want to show that prefix in action, so you can know what that prefix is, what it means. Instead of it giving the system prefix, it's going to give you the prefix you assigned when you were creating the publisher. So it's loading. Yeah, can you see? Look at the prefix math underscore the name of the table incident report. Math underscore the name of the table related incident. So that's what prefix does. It gives a prefix. It's just like a unique name for you to identify each table, because all this we call it logical name, because you'll be needing all these logical name as time goes on when you need to enter your table within Power Automate Flow, because Power Automate Flow communicates to a table using logical name, not the display name here. Not the display name. Power Automate communicate to your table in Dataverse using logical name. Using logical, you understand this logical name as time goes on. Using logical name. Now, can you say that's what I mean by that prefix? That's what I mean by that prefix. Now, what was that explaining? So that's how you create a solution, and that's how you add existing things you have in your environment inside a solution. Now, if I want to export the solution now, if I export the solution now, and another person downloads this solution, this table is going to come with that solution. All these 3D table will be inside that solution. If I added another app also, it's going to be inside that solution. All these things you are seeing here, they are happening inside Dataverse. All this, they are stored, saved inside Dataverse. That's all. These are the things Dataverse can do for you inside Dataverse. And also, so I think I was explaining lookup column, right? Okay, yes, I was explaining lookup column. Now let me use this incident reports to explain lookup, because we have sample data here, so you can understand what this lookup column looks like. Lookup columns looks like. So I want to go in depth of it, because you'll be needing this lookup column in every of your development journey. So let me just view the things that are necessary here. I only need the, let me see, reported by, I need this, reported dates, severity, I need this, and what else? Okay. Incident description. Then we save. So there should be a lookup column inside this. If it's not inside, that means the lookup column is inside that related, because it's one to many. Okay, yeah. It's the lookup column is not going to be, it's going to be inside. Let me see. Oh, I did not see. Okay, let me go to this related table. Okay, yeah. The lookup column should be inside this related table. The lookup column should be inside here. Let me remove action taken, description. Yeah, this is it. This is lookup column, incident reports. Then I save. Okay, now. As in show, as the incident report I ticked. Supposed to be among this. Okay, I did not tick this, sorry. Incident reports. Let me see. Now, can you see? If you click on more of, if you try to edit this column, and you so that you read, see, the data type is lookup, and related table is relating to incident report, which is this table. Please, can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Please, if anybody have question, you can ask question, no, because I can see nobody's asking question, no.
Yes, if you have question, please. If you have
Because
question, if you're confused
nobody's
on
asking
anything.
question, no, please. Oh, are you all? Is everybody understanding what I'm saying, please?
Yeah, they're giving you thumbs up. That means
Oh,
there's no question here.
okay.
Yeah.
So lookup is looking up to the incident report, which is this table. So I just now let's see how this lookup works in action. When I try to create a new record, let me try and create a new record here. Let me say action taking. Let me just copy what they write here. Copy, save. Then I save this. Now, the incident reports. So now, look at this. All these records you are seeing here, they are being populated from these incident reports. All these records here, they are coming from this incident report, meaning that this record, if you create this record, meaning this record is linked to this incident reports, which means this incident here, all these incidents here, they are linked to this incident reports. That's the meaning of this lookup column. Like you are looking up to another record to link to this table here. If I select this equipment failure, that means I have the report on this, the report related to equipment failure in this incident report is now linked to this related incidents. This record here, equipment failure, is linked to this record here. That's what lookup column does in Dataverse. That's what lookup column. Let me go back to this related incident, right? Let me go to this incident report. So this is also one of the benefits of using solutions, so that you won't have to be going back searching for your table. Everything will be inside your solution. Then you'll be able to pick anyone here. So let me go back to this incident reports. So remember I told you when you were creating a table in Dataverse, Dataverse gives you a primary column. Now, what's the function of that primary? Another function of that primary column is it serves as a communication between lookup columns, between another table. Because when you create a lookup column, the lookup column will be to get data from that related table. It will be communicating with the primary column, which the primary column is just like a key. That's the key to communicate to another table, because the primary column that's the field, the column the lookup will be fetching its data from. If you look at this incident report, where is the primary column here? Yeah, you see, the primary column is this incident description. Where is this? Which is this? So the one primary column here that Copilot generated for us, it's a data type of single line of text. You can also change it to auto number, but this one, I'm not changing it to auto number yet. I will just change it to just single line of text and leave it the way it was generated. Now, this incident description, if you notice, from this related incident, now please, I need you to pay attention to this, to the data in this incident description. You have equipment failure, fire alarm, injury in workshop, minor spill in lab, unauthorized access. Look at this data here in this incident description, because this is the primary column. This is where this lookup that is in this table will be fetching the data from this row. Now, this column. Let me go back to this related incidents. Look at it, equipment failure, fire alarm, and all this. Let me go back to this related incidents and try to fetch and try to create another record. Now let me select this lookup column. Can you see? Those data in that primary column, those are the data that are popping out here for you to select, to bind those records together. That's the function of a lookup column. To bind a record from one table to another table, you want to bind them together. That's the function of lookup column. That's how lookup column works. This is how lookup column works in Dataverse. And what other data type do we have that I have not explained? Everybody know date and time. I've explained choices. I've explained auto number. That's the one that auto generates a unique number for every, and in Dataverse, any column that is auto number, it will change to a system column that you will not be able to edit it. For example, now, if I change this incident report, I say this is the primary column here. Yeah. This is primary column. You can only change a primary column to either auto number, because I want you to note, once you create a table and a column in Dataverse, let's say, for example, you created this, let me see, the data type of let's say, this is not a primary column yet. Is this a primary column? What's the primary column? Okay, description. Yeah, this is the primary column here. Yes, once you create a column in Dataverse and you've selected a data type, you won't be able to change it anymore. You can't change it. Let's say, see, this is the primary column. The only column you can change, and the only column you can change is the primary column, whereby you can only select, change it from single line of text to auto number, from auto number to single line of text, like this: plain text, auto number, plain text, auto number. Now, for example, let me try and create, let's say, for example, you are trying to create a column and you select probably single line of text and say, oh, no, this column is supposed to be date and time. You can't change it back. You have to delete it and create another column. Let's say, okay, for example, now I try to add a new column to this. Let me say this one should be phone number, and I change it, the data type to phone number here, and I save. If I try to go back to it and say, oh, I want to change this data type to something else, you won't be able to change it because you won't be able to change it anymore. You only delete it, and can you see data type? It's already single line of text. I won't be able to change the data type to maybe choices or lookup or date and time, or you can't change it anymore. That's why if you are creating a column, you need to know the data type this column will be meant for. Is it a date and time column? Is it single line of text column? Is it choice column? Is it auto number? So once you've set this, you won't be able to change it anymore. You won't be able to change it anymore. So that's another thing you need to note. So as I was saying, in a primary column, no, this is the lookup column, and this is the primary column. So the only column you can change is just the primary column, whereby you need to change the data type from either single line of text to auto number. Now, note that I can edit this, right? I can enter data into this. I can enter data into this. Once I change it to auto number, it automatically change to a system column, whereby I won't be able to edit it anymore. Look at it now. It's going to change to read only. And I change to auto number. Let me change this one to optional. And I change it to IN. So, and I save. You see, it won't be editable because it's an auto-generated number column, whereby the system generates the number itself. And when I reload, I hope that changes has taken effect. Okay, yeah, it's auto number now. When I reload, yeah, can you see? Can you see that I can't edit this column anymore because it is now auto numbering column, whereby if you see, read only. You can't edit auto numbering column. You can't edit it. It's a read only column because it's the system that generates the number. So that's another data typing. So what other data? I think that's all. Okay, those are the data type. We have also file. This file is an attachment column, whereby you can upload either image, attachments, either PDF, attachment. And one limitation in the Dataverse file attachment column is you can only upload just one attachment, not like SharePoint, whereby in an attachment column you can upload more than one attachment in a specific column. You can't. You can only upload just one attachment in a column, in a row, rather, sorry, in a row. Not like SharePoint, whereby you can upload more than one attachment in a specific row. But in Dataverse, in a row, if you have a table that has attachments column, either file or image, in that row, you can only upload just one file. let me put this into practice. Let's say this is a file. I made this a data type of file, and I click on save. Oh, sorry, I'm going to enter a display name. Let me name this one attachments. Attachments. We are still in Dataverse. We have never got to the model-driven app. Model-driven app will be tomorrow, because Dataverse, once you understand the basic rudiments,
it will be next week. We are not having
next
class
week.
again. Yes.
Okay. All right, no problem. So because the brain box of model-driven app is Dataverse. Once you understand how Dataverse works, then trust me, model-driven app will be so simple. I love model-driven app. Canvas app, if I'm to rate Canvas app and model-driven, I love model-driven app, because model-driven app, I use less Power FX formula. That's why most of the projects I've worked on, I use model-driven app for everything. So I know also probably next week I will give a criteria you can use to decide, okay, I might use Canvas app or model-driven app. So it's probably next week, as Uncle Leke said. So file, then save. I want to put this attachment into practice so you can see what I'm talking about. That you can only upload one file in Dataverse at a time, just one in a record. You can't upload two. You can only upload one file in a row. And also, you will also be able to upload it within this table. There's something we call, I'm still going to go into that. What's the time? I hope people are not sleeping yet.
No.
So
We are still very much awake.
So I want to explain this attachment. You can upload a Dataverse within Dataverse table, just more or less like, let me call this an Excel experience. It's more like Excel experience. You can upload an attachment in an Excel experience like this. It needs to be within a form or within an application. In Dataverse, there's something we call forms and views. I was still going to go. I just wanted to explain the table structure there. If you see it, we have forms and we have views. What this form does and what this views does, I will explain it once I'm done with this. Now let me try and see. Okay, I think I've explained lookup column, how it's fetch record from another table. What else did I need to explain? So now let me go to
maybe the last form of this thing can be maybe like a calculated or the one that uses formula.
Yes, yeah. Thank you for reminding me that.
That's very important. Yes.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Yes. There's another data type called formula. Thank you. Yeah, there's another type called formula. If you know how this formula will be very easy. If you know if you are good with Excel formulas, trust me, you'll be able to use this table. You'll be able to use this kind of data type. What all this formula does, probably you want to customize your table to your own taste. Maybe, okay, I want this table to base on another record in this specific table. Probably, okay, you want that. Most of the time I use this formula is if I needed to do some addition, maybe I have a table that comprises of numbers, maybe price, and maybe price 1, price 2, then total. You can't expect me to be adding this manually. That's when you can use a formula column, whereby once a record is in price 1 column and a record is in price 2 column, the column in total automatically sums price 1, price 2, and puts there for you automatically without even you doing any addition yourself. It's going to be automatically, whereby it adds price 1 and price 2, then saves it in total, just like in Excel. That's what this formula, if you are good with Excel formulas, trust me, you'll be able to use this. Now, let's say, for example, I hope I can still remember this formula. Yeah, formula.
A simple one can be maybe today. I think that's like simple one, yeah.
How? Thank you, Dataverse. Even when you are typing your formula, Dataverse gives you some gives you it gives you some maybe an idea of what you are trying to do. Is it date add? Is it addition? It pops out and okay, let me do I want to do one in practice. I want to do one that will sum. Aha, yes, sum. Let me say table. I don't have a table that comprises of number. That's why it's not popular. If I have a table that have a number, it's supposed to. Let's say add dates. Date add. From which column? Let me add. Are you sure I want to close? Yes. Okay. Let me add a date and time column. Or probably this. Let me say price 1. So to give an example of what price 1, then single, can make this one number column so that it's going to pick that number, then format none, simple should be behavior. Then let me name this one price 1, save. Then let me delete this. We don't need this anymore. Let me just hide. Also, you can add a color that I don't want to see. That's price 1. I want to add another one. Probably price 2. So it should be number. None. Then you save. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Enter number. I want to enter a number here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then add another column to be total. Total. This one should be number because sum only works with number. Total. Then I do this. Now, oh, sorry. This is supposed to be a formula data type. You see that what I'm saying? I can't edit this anymore. I will have to delete this. Sorry. Let me just hide others and just bring only price 1 and 2. So I can just, these are the colors we want to work with for now. Let's see, okay. Total data type will be formula. Yes, we say sum. Yeah, from which table? I want the table to be from. You will use now. This is what I want to explain. Is it going to bring price for? Okay, yeah. Price 1. These are the table that if you see, note the name of your table. I was thinking so I was going to use logical name, but it's just thank you, Dataverse, for that. I want to sum price 1. Okay. And is it going to be addition? I've forgotten this formula. And
I didn't know I was muted. I think it's comma, yeah. And
I've changed it. Where's price? What is the second price? 2, price 1, price 1, price
if
1.
you start typing price, it should come up.
Okay. Thank you, Uncle Leke. Thank you for that. Then you close. Now, what does this do? It means if any data is added in price 1 column and price 2 column, I won't be the one to be adding it on my own. The table is automatically means this table is depends on data in price 1 column and price 2 column. Then it's sum it for me. Let me okay. Then once I save, now let's see. Okay, now let me try and add this number 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, one row is not saved. Which row? Which row? Which row? Which row? Which row? Which row? Oh, I think I have a required. Oh, I have a required column here, which is this. Oh God! You see that's what I'm trying to say. When a column is required, you see it will pump your data not to be saved sometimes because you are not filling you do not fill in a row that requires a data, which is this. You see that red check mark means this column requires data. I know. Let me change it to. Aha! Thank God. Before I even go, can you see? Can you see it? That this total, I was not the one that do this myself. The table knows what it wants. That's the job that has been assigned to this table. I wanted to redo it to just add new data, but it's added this in. Let me do another one again. Let me remove this one from required so that I'll be able to save just those two rows. Let me remove it from required. Optional, then save. Let me remove it from required so that I can just add data in this two row or just this two row. Suppose that I've removed this red now. Optional. And let me reload. Remove that red job. Aha, okay, now it's no longer required. Let me just hide it. Okay, now let me add another data here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See, it's automatically added. Suppose no, it hasn't added this one yet too. Let me reload. It has not added this. That's because when I added, when did that data saved? Because once you are adding a new row to Dataverse, it's automatically saved itself. So, but if I reload this figure should change automatically. It should sum those two tables together for me. Yeah. Can you see? So that is the function of formula data type. It's not only numbers you can work with. You can work with any. It depends on what you want to achieve with that formula column. Is it you want to add date, subtract it from this? Let's do another one. Let's say probably add this together to know the number of days this apple. Let's say let me add another column. Let me add dates, another date and time. Dates only. I don't want that. I just want dates only. You can specify date and time and dates only. Even sometimes when you select dates only, when you use Power Automate Flow, sometimes the time still shows. But this is how to prevent that from happening. You come to advanced option, then you come to time zone adjustment. Just select it to dates only. So if you don't want the time to be showing, because when you start interacting with this date and time table in Power Automate Flow, the Power Automate will pick both the dates and the time. But to prevent that from happening in Dataverse, once you click on date only, because you want this column to be only for dates, I don't want time to be there, just dates only. So you just have to come to advanced option, then change your time zone adjustment to dates only. To dates only. So then you save. So dates, let me add another date again. To calculate the number of days, days 2. This one also, I want it to be just date only. Date only, come to advanced option, we change it to date only. That's date 2, right? Then you save. So now, let me add another column here to be days. I think, okay, this one should be single line of text. Let's see. I hope I'm right. Because it's been long I work with formula column. I do use it in my Canvas app. I don't use formula there. But I hope this should work. Okay. Okay. So now, oh, sorry. Marvelous. What's wrong with you? I'm supposed to pick formula column for this. Sorry. Because I want to calculate the number of this between this and this. Then it should give us this here. Instead of me doing all this manually. Okay. Let me add new column. So this one can be this. Then I'll change it to formula. Okay. Now, I think, is it add this? Date add. Okay, yeah. Date add. So you date, where will I pick my date from? That will be date 2. No, I want date 1 to come, but it's still the same thing. And date, which is this, then you close. I think. Oh, sorry. Dates and date 2. I think there's an error in my formula.
He's asking you for the number of units you want it. Comma, I think there's another comma, and then time units.
Thank you, Jaron. Please help me out in this formula. I'm not good in I'm not good in Excel.
Even me, this is how I struggle too. So it's everybody. It's not nobody is island of anything. Time, I think time units. Once you start typing time units.
Okay.
Time units, days.
Oh, yes, days, hours, quarters, yes. Oh, yes. Thank you. Time units, days, yes, exactly. Still error.
It's still heroing out.
Oh God. It's been long, guy. Shit.
Still heroing out.
What's the error?
Can you over on the error? Let's see what the message is saying.
Snap.
If you close the bracket again, it's going to bring the error.
Okay,
and then let's see what the error is saying.
What is the error saying?
If you over on that date too, he's not happy with that date too, and I don't
know. I don't know. I don't know why it's no.
Because you weren't the one that
this argument cannot be passed as type number in formula columns. Okay.
Are you sure that's a date type? Is it that date? Is it a date type or a number? It's looking like maybe it's a number or something.
Let me check. Let me check my dates too. It's a date type.
Is it?
So
why is it not happy?
It's a date type.
Okay.
It's a date.
It's just one of those things. Yeah, we can leave that. We'll work around it later. Yeah.
So I'll make sure so that's how just formula column works. It's if you want to save yourself some time, probably you need to do some calculations, add 2 days together, add numbers together, add do this. That's what formula column, that's what it does in Dataverse. Now let's move to, so these are the table structure in Dataverse works. You can have as many as columns you want. You can have as many as columns. That it depends on the business problem you are trying to solve. Depends on the business problems you are trying to solve. Now let me move on to forms and views. Then after forms and views, then we call it a day. Now, what did I mean by forms? Forms is just like a UI interface, and also a UI interface that you can use to interact with your table inside. I know some of you will think, so if I want to add data inside Dataverse now, will I need to be going like this? That needs to be going like this, coming like this, showing this, hiding this, doing this, because I want to add data inside Dataverse. That's why I like Excel. Excel is very straightforward. I don't want to be doing all this. No. That's why if Microsoft also have all this in mind, that's why they created a UI experience and a user interface, whereby even if you want to add data inside this table, because sometimes you might have like 50 columns, even 100 columns, depends on what you want to do. There's a way you can interact with data inside this table. That's even trying to double click on a row and try to add data in it. So that's why Microsoft introduced forms. Forms, in my own explanation, I call forms as a UI experience and also a user interface. Is it user interface or user experience? Both user interface and user experience that you can use to input data into your Dataverse table, that you can interact with your Dataverse table. So let's say, for example, this is what we have: different kind of forms. We have main form, we have quick create form, we have quick view form, and we have, yes, I think those are the three types of form we have: main form, quick create form, quick view. Yeah, just three: main form, quick create form, and quick view form. So you understand what I mean by forms. And once I start doing it practical, because every table you create in Dataverse, there's a form attached, there's a form and views that's attached to it. That's what we call form. Form is for you to input data, to interact with the table. Like you want to input data into the table you have in Dataverse. Instead of you coming here to start double clicking one by one, and start entering data, this can be so tedious for people to do. That's why there's forms. You just need to, you can interact with your table using forms. And what is view? Is self-explanatory. View is for you to see, to view something. View is just for you to, like, if you want user to view any record from a specific table, whereby they don't have to be coming to this table to come and view it. That's what this view is for them to view. View is not to input data, it's only to view data from a table. Is to view record, to view data from a table, rather than coming to this place, because this place is mainly for just the back end. That's the last time, if you remember, that's why I like when you're a Power Platform developer, you are wearing many hats. Just like Kuleke said, you are a back-end developer. You create database yourself. You are a front-end developer. You create the front-end, the user interface of the application yourself. You are most of the back-end developers, what they interact with is just table structure. They design table structure for you, design the column, design the column type and the data types. But once you are a Power Platform developer, you are indirectly a back-end developer, because this table here, this is supposed to be only what the back-end developer should be seeing, but it's to be seen, not user. You can't expect user that want to enter data into your table in Dataverse. You can't tell them to come to Dataverse and start double clicking and start entering data like this. No, it's not a good user experience. So that's why we have forms and views. Views is to view data that is inside that table, while forms is to input data inside that table. Now, when you go to forms, when you click forms, also in a table, there's a default forms that comes with every table you create. Just like I said, different types of form: main form, quick view form, and quick create. We also have card form. Card form, most of the card form is just like a small. This card form is only applicable when you are in model driven. That's when you will see this card form in action. But let's not go. The main thing you need to know is just main form, quick create form, and quick view form. Now, what do you mean by form? How does form? Now I'm saying form. How does this form even work with this table? How does it work? Now, when you create a table, let's say, for example, this incident reports that we created. Now, I need my users to be able to enter data into this form, not making them to come to, I don't want them to be logging into Dataverse like this and be double clicking on every row to start entering data. That's not a good user experience. That's why you need to leverage form. You need to use form for them to input data into this. If you remember, even self in Canvas app, you already know what's called form already. In Canvas app, we have forms in Canvas app. We have edit form, display form, view form. Just like in Canvas app is in Dataverse. You know, edit form is for you to edit record in the table. New form is for you to enter data and submit it into that specific table, either submit or you patch. So that's what that same functionality in Canvas app, that's a functionality in Dataverse too, whereby you can input data into this table without having to just come to that table and start double clicking on each row. Now, let me create a form to insert data into this incident report because I'm on incident.
I'm so sorry. You got just 2 minutes more. I know that excitement.
I'm
I can
enjoying it,
feel it from
honestly.
you.
I'm really enjoying it.
But we've got just 2 minutes
Two
more for
minutes.
tonight.
Oh,
Yes.
God. Oh, so sorry. So sorry.
So if
I'm
you can
lost.
just round up and then we'll pick up from
Sure,
there next
sure,
week.
sure, sure,
Yes.
sure, 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 sure. I can handle. I can handle. Now, when you need to create a, like I said, main form. You see, main form, quick view form, quick create form, card form. Let me create a main form. Even say if you don't want to create a main form, there's a default main form that comes with the table you create. You can just come here and edit a form. You can come here. So all these are just the system. This is when you need to specify. You see, this is like a user experience, user interface, whereby you need to design the form. Okay, they need to input data into this table. What are the things they need to fill in? They will need to fill in this, fill in the record, fill in the incident report, action taking. It depends on the number of columns you have in your table. That's how this, like I said, owner means the person that created that table or the person that is logged in currently. That's why it shows this owner. So what I usually do is you can just drag this and just place it on top of your phone. You can drag this here, so you just let that one be there. Drag it on top of your phone. So now I want people to be able to input data into this table, which is this related incident. How many columns do I have here that I needed them to input? Okay, I wanted to be able to enter price. It's just an example. Price, phone number, also what else I wanted to enter. Let's say for them to view the total, even though it's going to be auto-calculated. Okay, all you just need to do is just come here, drag each column you want to be available on that form for data inputting. Price, drag it there. You drag price too, you drag it. This is just Dataverse, just like a drag and drop user interface for you to design. What else? I want them to total, to enter dates too. So depending on the number of columns you have in your table, that is what you enter here, and you can arrange it you can specify in their order. Okay, I want this to be first, so just like that. I want this to be first, this to be this to be that. So it depends on how you want to arrange this. Then once you are done, you give it a name. You can say related incidents main form. So once you are done, then you save and publish. Because every changes you make when you are designing a form, you will need to save and publish. You will need to save and publish. You will need to save and publish. That's a main form. So you are designing a main form whereby they will need to input data. Main form is the main form, like the main, how can I put this in, how can I explain this? The main form, what I main means the main form that they use to input data, and what is quick create form. Quick create form, let's say for example, they are viewing a data in a model driven app and they need to input another data inside that same. Instead of them to navigate away from that page, you can just leverage quick create for whereby once they click on to input new data, they don't need to navigate. To just show just in a tab, just small font, quickly enter data. This will be, you understand this when we're in when we create a model-driven app, you understand it's better. So this has already been published. Now let me now use this form in practice. This has been published, right?
Are you sure we won't leave that till next week? Let's just stop here for today.
Okay, no problem, no
I
problem, no
really
problem.
want to appreciate you for coming around. This is only myself would understand the value of what you have given. I know. Yes. So thank you very much for coming
And
to impart your knowledge and not gatekeeping it to. So I would like everybody on this call also to probably just give a a round of applause for him, please, and maybe
thank you,
thank
thank
you.
you, thank you.
Yes, in the chat too would do for coming. This time he's going back to work tomorrow morning and he's here still presenting till this time, and you can literally feel the excitement. That's the kind of excitement I feel too when I'm presenting. So I understand that
Exactly,
feeling.
exactly,
So
exactly.
thank you for coming around. We'll continue
So,
from here, and we hope you'll be around next week to continue from here with us.
Yeah, sure. I hope
Um,
so. Sure. I hope
yes,
to be
thank
around.
you. Thank you very much. We do
we
appreciate.
appreciate you.
Thank you all. Thank you all. I appreciate.
Thank
I'm
you.
grateful also for listening to me, for giving me listening ears. Thank you all. Thank you
All
all.
right.
Thank
So that will
you.
be it